Hello. Okay. Distantly, on the Thaymount, there is silence. An Arc Lich rules the land of Thay. His name is Zastam, and he is about to promise a great alliance between the Thay and the Zent. Hundreds of feet below him, a middle-aged man's lip quivers. Is our nation about to ascend? Closer to home in Sembia, a cleverly designed contraption designed by Catharian Company slides down a mine shaft. It is there to extract dwarves whose arcane mining lamps have been rendered dark for the past 36 hours. The dwarves agree that they will never trust an elf's light ever again. In a warehouse in Waterdeep, the best party in the world is being thrown. A harp and a bass fight for auditory supremacy as people burn scrolls for light. Closest to home, you find yourselves here in Dawngleam. It is late in the afternoon, becoming dusk, just like the first time you arrived here.
Well, as we were just saying. Oh,
Hi, I'm just gonna listen and I'm mute.
okay. As I was just saying, I think me and Grint should abscond into town, and you three should remain on the outskirts.
Yes, I believe we were gonna circle around and see if we could get to the Sparrow.
Yes, you circle around and get to the Sparrow. We will get provisions, maps, and supplies.
Across the board, is looking for the tree off the table? Or did we still not?
So I think Eden's so out of it that he really does think it's around here somewhere. So if Lorne is willing to follow him, they might take a detour into the forest. I don't know how far they'll get.
If we're going around, we're gonna look for it.
Alright, we're gonna go look for a moon tree.
Okay, so you said it was like midday, right?
That's right.
So as we discussed in the previous session, this is also kind of across the table, but we can talk about it in character as well. But I think a short rest, because not only do we want to wait for night, we can recuperate after having fought a Baylor as well. And so I think that should be on the table. I mean, Eden and Lauren can go search for the tree. Grit and Tyranny can stay close by, wait for night. I think this works out.
Okay, I think that's prudent.
To be clear about the time of day, it's currently about 4, so it's the middle of the day. Like you still have the sun is starting to set in the sky. You could take a short rest. You could pause here where we are on the road before you venture into the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
I think the idea was to go into the city by night as it stands anyway.
Exactly.
Sounds good. So the party takes a short rest before venturing in at nightfall. And we have Grint and Tierney going into the market. And we have Eden Lorne looking for the tree. We have Alan perhaps contemplatively here on the road for a bit. Is all of that correct?
Sounds about right, yeah.
Let's talk about Grint and Tierney first.
I have some mechanical questions to clear up.
Hit me.
The first one is, do we get more, can we get health back on this short rest by rolling hit die?
Grint Cromwell cannot regain health via the hit die and a short rest.
Got you. Actually, that'll be it. That's it.
Okay.
We can regain all damage that's not necrotic, correct?
Correct. Yes. Any damage you've taken that was from the shadows that was dealt necrotic damage in the Temple of Lathander, you as of right now cannot heal that damage. If you
right, but we did take damage from the Baylor.
If you took damage from the Baylor, that is able to be, as far as you know, that is able to be healed. Yes. So, thank you for clarifying that. Yes. If you took damage during that fight, either from the whip or from the sword of the Baylor, that damage can be healed.
I don't remember
conventionally.
exactly how much damage was caused by the shadows. Do you know?
If you give me 1 second, I can tell you.
Look back at the
Excellent.
bot.
Okay.
$17, I think. We
I
can
took 17 damage. You mean?
17 necrotic damage. Yeah.
Okay, so that put me at. I can heal 44 then? Or 34. I can heal up to 34 then. Okay. I'm just going to roll all 5 hit die and see what I get then.
Perhaps what I should do is, because this is sort of a in-between session, maybe I can go back and audit this for everybody.
I think we are on the incorrect map.
You are wanting to be in the town square, right? You are visiting the market.
Ah, okay. You have us there already. Cool.
So I have you there. Well, so no interaction necessary on this map, but if you have questions about your locale, feel free to ask them. What
I have questions about the state of order in the town. but-
That's exactly what I meant. Yes, please let me know what the allow me to give you a little bit of market intro. You, Tierney and Grint, you find chaos at the market. What merchants are left are opportunists, and you have the sense that much of what is on display was recently looted. You sense that in the chaos, you could try to steal an item. The only food you can find is a stall where a young woman with a high hairline and a shabby robe is selling grilled meat of uncertain origin. And I have a document for you. Now, I would love to field your questions regarding the state of affairs.
Is the guard presence still active?
It is. However, what you notice is that what guards are here tend to be standing very close to stalls, close to merchants. With the general chaos, there is more of a, you sense the guards are working more as bodyguards and less as order keepers.
What about the citizens? Is there general uproar? I assume people are carrying weapons openly.
Yes, there is. You see, near the south of your screen here, past the Millstone Butchery, you see an armed citizen. You notice that there are a number of people who are likely civilian, but have attempted to arm themselves to the best of their ability. You sense that many people are sort of acting as guards for their family, friends, and community right now.
But the place is basically crawling with armed folk leering at each other in some way or another.
The mood is tense, Tierney.
The mood is tense. Okay. So this is a list of things that are available. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, give me a moment to look. Why don't we cut to the other group while I read through this stuff again?
Certainly. The other group.
Mind discussing the artifacts like across the table? Just
Yes.
'cause I'm finding them very interesting.
I was going to suggest potentially something that you should do, like instead of putting a pin in that, why don't we across the table discuss some of this? Because this may be the last provisions you see for quite some time.
We don't have much gold, if I recall. We
I would
spent
say
almost.
We have about 300 between all of us.
That's probably about right, and we spent almost all of it on the cart that got stolen. I am going to try and steal something. So, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And not the boots? The boots of speed?
I can already disengage.
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah. They might be useful for Alan, considering she's very squishy, but I can understand why Tierney would not be.
Only 2 people actually stand in combat, and one of them is never going to disengage. And the other one already can, so that's what I was thinking. If you
Okay.
would like it, that's reasonable. I mean, it is extremely powerful. Moving your move speed to 45 around and getting disengaged for free, this is like the mobile feat plus and evasion for rogues, which are like 2 of the best abilities in the entire game, bar none.
Yeah, it just seems like it could help protect a character, but
Then again, that Skull of a Frost Giant will take my strength from 9 to 23, which is a pretty big delta.
Especially if you're going to be doing a lot of meleeing in the near future.
Yeah,
You
that's
say
what I
what
was
you want.
thinking.
we're not going to need the bag of holding.
I am going to purchase the map, or send
Okay,
somebody to
yeah.
purchase the map. I think that's going to be of utmost importance. You want the glaive.
It's not necessary. It's purely like
It's really cool.
it's really cool, yeah. Looking at this demure trinket, it's new.
I have a mechanical question about Saurian.
Please.
If the caster is unable to cast spells with their spell slots but still has them prepared, can they expend them to Saurian?
It would seem that. So think about how spells fail, right? You have the spell slot, you attempt to cast the spell fails. I think from that, can you infer your answer based on my...
I can. Because this is like the perfect Allen weapon.
True. Yeah, that's a very good point.
She's got spell slots, she can't use them, but I mean...
But she doesn't want to be in melee range, right?
Sometimes it's not up to your decision.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Tierney has doubts that Allen will ever be useful in combat again, but we shall see.
We should probably. I mean, this meat is very sketchy, but we really should get some manner of food.
What's sketchy about
yeah,
it?
we
I think
should
that
buy
the
some.
plan is we will get up on provisions, right? Like we'll sort out provisions, and then maybe think of play for one of these items. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm guessing it looks like the butcher's not selling anything currently.
That's correct. The last you saw of the Millstone Butchery, you saw Grint Grommel making his way out of the basement. It may have been deleterious for business.
Yeah, probably best to avoid that for now.
Well, I, for one, am excited to eat some crocodile meat. I think... Alright, so Tierney has a handful of gold pieces, which can buy the map and some food. I think we should load up on some food. Tierney already has a mental plan of where to send us, and the map will help us all stand around a table with a dagger and stab it in the buried treasure. So once we get the map, we can plan that out. But we obviously will have to stop in a town along the way.
Just to be clear, is this a different map than the ones that you already have 4 of?
It is.
Yeah. Okay. It's very necessary then.
I think that Tierney would want to steal the polished frost giant skull. I think it would be harder to steal a glaive
Yes, agreed.
because that's like many feet long. Are there any other requests?
Lauren would have explicitly stated that he's flat broke and would have given you no directives.
I hope you like smoking cigarettes for food because I'm going to buy some of them too.
So
Addiction.
just so we're clear, that braised meat, 1 piece for 4 gold. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay.
Terrifying.
Can we get a bow? Just regular bow. For the purposes of hunting.
Yes, you can find a. I will find you a bow. A merchant is able to procure you a crude implement that will serve your function.
Any fishing equipment as well.
You do have fishing equipment on board Sparrow.
We could use more, just in case.
You,
Do we have access to like poles, nets, things of that?
you can re-up on screen here. You are able to replenish your supplies of things like tackle, nets, line, bait. You do so for the price of under 1 gold.
Okay. My next idea, because we have like a scooping net. Can we get like a thrown net, if you know what I mean? Like one of those big ass nets they chuck. I imagine that would be like more than just a few copper.
You can have the same net that is a martial weapon, the net, which can be used as a fishing implement as well. For 5 gold.
Okay.
A fine hemp
I would
net.
say that's absolutely worth, seeing as how food is becoming scarce and expensive.
We still have our opacity increasers too.
We have 1. We used the other.
Tierney has one on his person.
Yes. And we have 1 potion. That's the one that Lauren gave Eden.
It's also worth thinking about as we go along. We might encounter more dungeon type scenarios. How we on rope, pry bar, shovel for some reason, things of that nature. This is
Lauren.
the last chance we might get to buy stuff in a long time.
I think we will probably hit multiple port towns.
Okay.
What are you going to say,
Grant
Lauren?
would try to get a pry bar all the same. Just because I was thinking back to like when he had to use a pickaxe to pry open a door. That would be definitely stuck in his mind. There's got to be an easy way to do this. He would definitely get a pry bar.
Grinch, you can pick one tool that you can find here at the market, and we'll say that the same tool merchant that is selling you your net for 5 gold will throw in one basic metal tool like that.
I'll go with pry bar.
You want it to be a pry bar? Go ahead and put it on your manifest. Description TBA, but it's a nice solid piece of iron that you could use for making your way into something. Go ahead, Tierney.
I was going to point the camera at Falmari. He was about to say something that Lauren was going to request or want.
Oh no, Lauren is a shovel. You're good.
Lauren needs a
Okay.
shovel.
Fair enough.
It's better than being a rake.
Hey.
Okay. I would like to purchase the map, 2 packs of cigs, and I had. Let me look how much gold I have. 41. Okay. I would like to save. I would like to save some gold for we're going to land in towns, and we're going to need something to propel us. So I don't want to spend all of our gold here.
Yeah, Eden
Oh.
would have handed over his, so you have 48 extra gold.
Actually, here's a question. I'm not sure how. I almost don't even think we should try it in this town, seeing as how shitty things are. But we have extra gear. We could possibly try to sell it. We have things like Grint's old plate mail, a couple swords.
Why doesn't Tyranny try and hawk it?
Sure, you want to try and hawk his plate
I mean,
mail?
there's no rules. I could just set up shop like I'm a vendor and try and hawk it instead of going to a vendor.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'm
think
pretty
the other thing,
persuasive.
that I was concerned about is before we were using magic to create this sort of ice chest to keep our food from spoiling, and that's not really an option. So we may not want to overly commit to meat.
Well, that's what we have on hand. I'm
Yeah,
not
but there's
seeing.
no point in buying like 20 pounds of steaks that are gonna go bad.
Well,
the
we're
next
not
day.
buying them. We're only gonna buy a couple. We're mostly trying to get bow, net, things to fish and hunt with, so we can
Yeah,
procure it
yeah.
ourselves.
Sorry, I'm filling this out, and then I'll go into roleplay real quick. Red Royals. How many SIGs are in each pack?
12.
12. What a name for these cigarettes, by the way. Red Royals. Very evocative.
How about can Grint re-up on cooking supplies as well? I think it's fair to say he used quite a bit of oil so far. He would need some more cooking oil for sure.
Grint, you find that one of the things that is in most short supply are basic comestibles, things like flour, things like oil, things like spices. Extremely difficult to get your hands on right now.
Okay. Fair enough then.
Your bow is being procured as we speak. Grint, you procure your fishing supplies, your short bow, your net,
Excellent.
your pry bar, if I didn't already say that. I think I said that. Tyranny Fang, you were purchasing 2 packs of cigarettes.
2 packs of cigarettes.
One
5.
map.
Yes, 1 map and 5 instances of meat. So 1 day for the party.
Your map, Mr. Fang.
Hell yeah. The red dotted lines are shipping lanes, is that correct?
That is exactly right. These are paths you can take. Common shipping lanes for navigating the waterways that form the heart of this country.
Perfect.
Eden Cather, you seek to find a tree of great significance. You walk into the forest with Lorne de Navir at your side. Branches crunch underfoot. What are you seeking exactly?
So in his dreams, the trees are always in a wide clearing. They're usually taller than the ones around them. So he's probably eyeing the horizon to see what trees stand out height-wise, and using that to navigate, but he's also paying attention to the fires, of course, the health of the forest, and still concerned by what they saw earlier with the blackbird and the tree randomly turning into ash. He might be looking for other signs of what looks to him like corruption.
You can smell in the air a bit of smoke. It is unclear if this is coming from the town or from the forest itself. Seeking corruption, you find none. What you do find are areas where it seems like areas of the world have been blotted out or erased. Instead of one clearing, you find many. Some trees seem to be simply missing. Some areas of the world seem charred.
I think seeing this, Eden might turn to Lorne and say, does this mean anything to you? Have you ever seen anything like this?
And thankfully, no. In terms of what it means, it seems like the world's coming apart.
I just don't understand why some of it is affected, but not all of it.
I could have many theories to throw at you. No firm answers.
I think
Perhaps the trees are gone because they were magical or linked to the weave itself. Perhaps the worlds are crashing in on each other without the weave to contain it. Not 2 hours ago we fought a Baylor. And now the trees are disappearing. I think most things are on their heads at this point.
Your reality feels a bit thin, Lorne.
Eden sort of looks nervously towards the ring that Lorne is wearing. And he asks, using that, can you sense anything?
Oh, yes. What specifically are you asking?
Does it feel like the Shadow Weave is taking over?
Well, it's the only one there. Does it feel like the Shadow Weave's taking over?
You could certainly feel that way. Eden's words ring in your head. This
Think of
doesn't...
it like a cup.
Go ahead, please.
Half filled with water, half filled with oil. Now there's no oil, just the water left.
Using it, do you feel okay?
How does it feel to channel the Shadowfell?
Have you ever taken a shower in the dark?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I didn't key down.
You feel this, it's something very familiar to you, but it seems different now. And you feel very much like you are simply using a different pathway, a different methodology to arrive at the same place. Nothing has changed in what you do, but the way you get there feels subtly different.
In truth, it is no worse or better. I do not feel as though my soul is being torn asunder by tapping into the Shadowfell now.
Eden looks a little relieved at that. And he says when we met those soldiers, they're saying that they're killing all of the mages that they can find. In giving you this ring, we've pretty much turned you into a weapon.
Very apt. Lorne will look down at what he's wearing currently, realizing only now that the long white gloves sort of sets out a bit of a strange visage to the tight black leather clothing and apron he's wearing.
For the first time since you set foot in this country, you feel like you're dressed a bit ridiculously. You realize how out of place you must be.
Perhaps I should find different attire.
We should be able to find something on the Sparrow for you. We'll
What of this
just look
tree,
a
then?
little bit longer for this tree, and then if it's not meant to be, we'll just turn around and go back to the Sparrow. We can't leave Alan waiting very long.
Ian Cather, you have a feeling, as you gaze skyward, that it's not meant to be.
Then I would say maybe 10 minutes later they'll turn around and circle back and start navigating the waterways towards where the docks would be.
Your rally point being the docks where you landed here.
Yes, where they left those dead bodies, which I assume somebody did something about.
You didn't see, but the party saw these bodies being taken away. But first, let's revisit Grint and Tierney. You discussed a number of different avenues here. We can potentially attempt to hawk things here in this black market. We can attempt to steal something. We can attempt to buy something.
Can you put us on the map?
You are... Okay, Dave, you're on the map. My eyes were closed. You didn't see. It was a visual pun.
I'm sitting here refreshing, looking around.
I figured. You're on the map. What are you seeking to do?
Okay, Grint, what do we have to sell?
I got a sword and my old armor.
We're gonna hawk this, Grint. Can you stand next to me and do what you do best? Look tough.
Oh, aye.
Which items are we attempting to sell?
We are selling the +1 longsword and the +0 banded mail.
Let's see who you find.
Hear me, hear me! Enchanted longsword, banded mail, come get 'em! Your magic doesn't work, but cold steel works.
Everybody looks over. Your voice rings out. There was a bit of a somber, morbid, what does our future look like tone here. And Tierney Fang, your aggressive hawking quickly catches the eye of many people. A group of 3 adventurers looks between each other and then over to you. They're led by a half-orc. When you mention a sharp enchanted longsword, he tilts his head and walks over. Let's see the sword.
I'll hold the sword in my hand, and I will gently nudge Grint as I place it in his hand. You'll find this to be the finest steel. You look like you've swung a sword or two in your day, my good sir.
He raises an eyebrow as if to say, enough. He extends his hand to see if you'll let him hold it.
I will.
He takes it and slices through the air, quickly attempting to ascertain the balance of this sword. He hands it back to you, handle first. I'll give you 10 gold.
I'm afraid we're quite far off, good sir. I was looking for more like 150 gold.
He looks back to his two companions. $25 gold.
75 gold and not a coin less.
Buyer's market, my friend. 50 gold.
Trying to make a fool out of me, but I appreciate your guile. Let's go to 65.
And if I told you I don't have 65?
Do you have something else to barter with? Something minor. We would accept all sorts of adventuring gear.
57 gold and my dagger.
May I see the dagger?
He nods. He hands you a dagger. The blade itself has been well sharpened. It is short and has a squared off appearance. The hilt is durable. The handle is black.
I'll hand it back to him. Take a look at Grint. It's a deal then.
You hawk your +1 longsword for 57 gold and a +0 dagger.
Excellent. Let me write it down.
I love auctioneer journey.
Okay. I'm going to spend a few minutes trying to hawk this banded mail for a small amount of money, but if nobody bites immediately, I'm going to give up on it pretty quickly.
You have a sense that this banded mail, while it catches a few people's eyes, is a rather common item and more of a commodity. The few people you have that you can get to try it on or hold it up to their torso quickly realize that it's fitted for a dwarf. You get the sense that this may be difficult to sell here in Dongling.
Fair enough. Okay, Grint.
Hey.
First, DM. Can you point out the stall that is selling the amazing goods of polished frost giant skull and boots of speed?
Geiji to the northwest. This shop, this 2-story shop, yes, correct. Going inside, you realize that they sell a number of artifacts, including the polished frost giant skull.
Okay. Can you explain to me what the security is like in here, what the position of the frost giant skull, so I'm scouting.
You reconnoiter the area. The frost giant skull is behind the counter, up on a shelf. You would have to, if you were simply reaching for it, you would have to reach far over where several proprietors are currently taking requests, questions, and bartering with customers. The guard situation is such that there are 2 guards in here with you. There are about a dozen customers, 3 proprietors, 3 provisioners, and 2 guards. One guard is at the door, ensuring that anybody walking in gets a firm up and down glance, at the very least, to see how well people are armed. And when people are leaving, the same guard looks them up and down, mentally checking to see if what you have matches what you came in with.
So, Grint is going to pull Tyranny aside. Can you, if I make a little disruption, let's say, you think you could get it and get out of here?
Yes, but before you do that, I'd like to give myself a little bit of an advantage.
Hey,
Can you wait 5 minutes?
hey.
I'd like to walk out of the store.
You do so.
I'd like to walk to an unseen location and cast invisibility on myself.
You are able to find a secluded glade. The sounds of the market are deafened here, and you are able to cast invisibility on yourself.
I'm going to follow a customer into the market if I can, or into the building if I can.
How closely?
And I would like to glower in a corner close to the edge of the counter and wait for Grint's disruption.
What do you do when there is someone in line in front of you who is stopped by the door guard? Someone is coming up behind you, Tierney.
I'd like to step to the side. I imagine the door guard is on one side. I would like to be on the other side. I would like to gently hold the door if it swings.
Roll stealth.
Okay. $24.
You do an admirable job maintaining the illusion that there is no one there, despite the close quarters and small features like the dust kicked up when you step to the side. It remains your turn. You are waiting, glowering in the corner, waiting for Grint Gromwell's disruption. Is that correct?
That's right. And I will wait for his mark.
Grint Gromwell.
Grint's kind of like just going to be standing next to one of the other customers. And he wants to, so the idea is he's going to be trying to shove a customer into one of the guards inside the store. You understand?
The customer to your left is a tall, bald-headed human male with a warhammer.
That'll be fine. Grint is going to yell out, "My mother's a saint!" And he's going to shove this guy into the guard.
2 rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Persuasion. How well can you deliver? Can Grint really seem injured? Can Grint really seem like your mother insult got him to push somebody?
Well, dwarves are very clannish, so.
Absolutely.
Insults the family do not go. Let me see. There we go. $15.
Roll athletics. Roll athletics at advantage. He's currently gazing down, looking towards something in the display case. He's easily knocked off his balance.
18.
You shove hard and he goes flying off of both feet, landing toward the guard at the door. There is a moment of silence as the guard by the door puts his hand on the hilt of his weapon. Both of the proprietors on the close wall there look at you. The proprietor in the back stops. Everyone is quiet as they look directly at you, Grint.
I make my move.
Roll sleight of hand.
22.
You reach out with one hand, grasp this ice-cold skull. As you touch it, you realize that the entire thing is freezing. You quickly put it into your pack. Is that correct?
I do.
Grint,
Okay, so Grint.
everyone is
gonna
looking at
continue.
you.
Yeah. Grint's going to say, "The fuck are you all looking at? You take it back!" And he points at the guy.
The man who is holding the warhammer stands to his feet, looks at the guard, and says, "I didn't say nothing to this man. I didn't say nothing about this dwarf's mother."
Oh, you're a liar, too.
The situation is tense. He puts both hands on his warhammer and stares you down.
Oh, you'd rather swing than say you're sorry. Oh, you fucking townsfolk are all the same.
He turns to the guard and says, I bet he stole something.
Go ahead. Search me. Go ahead.
Both guards converge on you. Do you let them pat you down?
Grin completely complies. Just newborn baby. Yeah, just T-posing.
They find your sword. It glows with martial power.
Mm-hmm.
The guards look at each other. Did you come in with this?
Oh, you better believe it.
Can you prove it?
You saw me come in with it. Walked right past you. I don't see any other stout, handsome dwarves in here. It's just me.
The two guards share a glance and seem to decide that you're not worth the trouble. Fine then. Tierney, you have a frost giant skull in your backpack. Grint Cromwell, you are unmolested for now.
I would like to exercise the utmost caution. I have all the time in the world to get out with this skull. I would like to take the safest possible route, taking as few risks as possible.
Would that be out the front or out the back? You've never been out the back. Out the front, you might run into somebody. Out the back, you're not sure what works.
Out the back, absolutely.
Roll intelligence.
$29.
A storeroom, a loading dock. It locks from the inside. Easily defeated. You pick it up, you walk out, you're out back. In one simple motion. As the door closes, it's like it never happened.
I feel amazing about myself.
Dwelling on that moment for a bit, you wonder if anyone else feels amazing about that as well.
In the cover of darkness here, I'd like to drop my invisibility and lean casually against a building in view of the exit of this place, the front door.
You watch as Grint exits, narrowly after being shaken down and patted down by the pair of guards. He exits through the front.
I'll make eye contact.
You do so. The two of you exchange a glance.
I believe our business is so. I believe Grint would then not like walk up to Tierney. He's just gonna go turn and start moving towards the docks. Yes.
I will follow, but I will not take the exact same route.
Each of you two, give me a D1 hundo.
$15.
45.
I'm sorry, let me get the... Grint Cromwell with a 15, Tierney Fang with a 45. Is that, are both of those correct?
Correct.
Okay. Need to go here. Store Allen for later. Two seconds. You see something. Lord Needon, you see Tierney and Grint. Tierney and Grint, you see Lord Needon. you see something else. On the helm of the Sparrow, you see Captain Barrick. There's a bottle in his hand, and over the distance, from perhaps 80 feet away, he yells, "Great day for a ship!"
Shut the fuck up!
Your voice echoes across the water. Up against the dock, you see a long discarded and deteriorated lute wearing its way down against one of the pilings.
I would ask if this is your ride, but I think that's a bit apparent, isn't it?
It is.
I wouldn't
And,
trust this captain. Just a heads up.
So they haven't convened just yet. Grint is gonna kind of stop for a second, and because they're out of earshot right now, he's just gonna turn to Tyr and he's gonna say, "So what the fuck are you?
What am I?
You glide through the dark like an owl, and you stand toe to
Oh,
toe
that's good.
with a Baylor
That's
in
good.
a fucking suit.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Some of us draw power from sources that aren't physical might. And you, Grint Grommel, made Volo proud in that shop. And I'll open my pack a little bit to reveal the skull giant, the
This
frost
isn't
giant
about
skull.
me. This isn't about me. What? Why? Where? When?
Grint, we're all adventurers for a reason.
Oh,
We're seeking power here,
Oh, you got that right.
I love Grim pressing
and
on
I
his
have a
wound.
measure of it.
That's great and all, but we're entwined, eh?
Aye.
I'd like to, and you lost your little jewelry, your little leash. It's going, eh?
I have somebody's favor, Grint. And for now, we're on the same team. And that should give you heart.
I don't like it. I'll be honest. But as long as we get shit done, I'll be fine for now.
You and I are the people who get shit done here. We both need each other. We are the muscle and the mind of this party. The other people can be the soul. I don't care.
Fair enough. Grin will start walking.
As you start walking, Barrett calls out to you, "And a good day to you, Lord Grommel!"
Oh, this fucking guy. Grin says under his breath.
And we'll, if everyone's moving forward actively, we'll try to get on the ship as well.
So I think right before Eden and Lorne join the others, Eden will very briefly touch Lorne's arm to stop him and quietly, again, sort of out of earshot, say, again, looking at the ring, Lorne, I just wanted to say this. I know that you've said you've longed for the Lady of Loss to finally respond, to talk back to you. And I hope that in using the Shadow Weave, if she ever does, that you remember this power came from Tierney, not from her.
It's not a point. Don't take it to heart.
And then Eden will jump onto the ship. Say, "Hey, Barrick! You're alive!"
You reconvene with your old friend and captain. Feel free, take your moves. What a wonderful sight. The ship that let you down, the captain that let you down. He seems happy enough to see you. There's a bottle in his hand.
Grint is not happy to see him.
I remember this.
I feel like Grint would be marching forward, power walking.
I remember this gangplank where the amulet I used to wear choked me out.
You walk along the same path as a much younger Tierney. You remember what this was like, a different day. Much has changed since then, hasn't it?
I'll take the amulet out of my bag, and I'll throw it into the water.
It sinks unceremoniously, just a piece of trash. No different from the loot. Discarded things from a different time.
So Grint gets up to Barrick and he goes, "You fucking twit. You and that fucking Baron sending us on this godless endeavor. Do you have any fucking idea?" And Grint is just kind of stammering.
He leans down to you and says, "Look who's armored! Look at this! The craftsmanship!" He punches you in the shoulder a little bit and says, "You might not be having fun, but look at how well... You told me you were so upset that there wasn't going to be any good provisions, no good armor, no good weapons. Look at you now, Grint."
You ever touch me again, it'll be the last fucking thing you touch.
I do quite like to touch things.
I can tell, like the bottle.
He holds his bottle up with a
Do you
funny
have
smile.
any idea what the Baron sent us to do? What the fuck did he tell you?
He realizes, seemingly, the seriousness of this conversation. He sets his bottle down perilously on the deck. What did the Baron send me to do? To put it in your terms, to take the next class, to graduate.
Grint is like vibrating. He's so angry. What the fuck does that mean? He grabs Barry by the fucking shirt and like drags him down. What the fuck does that mean?
You did it, Grint. I know you did. You did it,
Noticed, did you?
and now you're here. Everyone who believed in you has been vindicated. Everyone knew that you could, that you would do it. And you did. He looks
Why would you
down.
do this?
He looks down where your hands hold his collar. I did it for money. Some people did it for love. Everyone did it because they thought they were doing the right thing for themselves.
You knew.
I did.
You knew this would happen.
I didn't know this would happen. I knew something would happen.
I'll yell up. The ship still piloted itself, Barrick.
Mr. Fang, come on up.
I'll walk up.
He gestures to the bottle. It sits there, on the deck. The ship sways gently in the harbor, and the bottle does the same. He turns back to you, Grint. Isn't it nice just to live in exciting times? Everyone thought that a warmonger would be perfect for this, and you were. Isn't this
All right, so-
isn't this what you wanted?
Let's hear it.
Hear what?
The reason I shouldn't kill you.
You could kill me, of course. Grint, Mr. Grommel, Lord Dwarf. You could kill most people on this plane, myself included. What do you think that would accomplish?
One less asshole in the world.
Is that really what you seek? Asshole
Probably
reduction.
gonna have to go through quite a few of them.
My neck is right here.
I don't mean to get between a bear and his prey. My name is Lorne. It's a... I would say pleasure, but I think we're beyond that.
I will still call this a pleasure. I know that in time, Mr. Grommel will come around, if he doesn't kill me first. But he may come around even after my demise. But regardless, it is nice to meet you.
Lorne will make a pity bow.
So
I
what
have-
now? What now?
I have
Sorry to
one...
interject, but Grint is fucking volatile.
Lorne will eventually pop up and speak over him to the loudest he can muster. Who is we? You speak of we.
I suppose the best way to put it would be he mimics a silent drum roll. The Committee to Save the World. He waits for a laugh.
He gets it.
See? Journey's having fun. I'm having fun.
And consider it saved.
So, what now? You're asking me what now? Don't you know? You're the protagonist.
Barrack, do you ever get tired of yourself?
I made peace with myself a long time ago.
You're not afraid to die.
Are you? So, come. Back on the ship. We're ready to sail.
Sail to where?
You tell me. I follow your instructions.
Where's that money gonna come from?
I believe you know where. The Baron.
Maybe we ought to pay him a little visit.
We're not.
Barrack,
I think we shall.
Barrack, you can sing your little song to your masters if you'd like. We're going to go below deck and discuss where we'd like to go. I am overjoyed that you will be joining us on this mission to be the eyes and the ears of our trip.
Barrack gives you a knowing little bow as if he is more than happy to play his little part. He goes, and as is such, dutifully picks up his character accoutrements, his bottle. Below deck, as you wish. The party convenes below deck.
As soon as they get below deck, Grint starts breaking shit.
You do so.
He picks up a chair and just like hits it on a fucking table. He says, "Why shouldn't I kill him? Give me, oh my god, give me one reason."
Your volatility overwhelms the situation. You easily break through these cheap pieces of furniture. You smash a chair. Pieces of wood go flying through the cabin. A fine dust is emitted.
Do you know how to drive a boat?
I don't even know if that fucking captain does. I think it drives itself.
I
don't
think he drives
anybody
it.
will learn anything from his death.
Oh,
He wouldn't.
I got a lot to teach, I'll be honest.
Grant, I think there'll be a lot of people to teach in the coming days. Barrack's obviously here to sing our positions and our happenings to whoever pays the most.
Grint's just breathing heavy.
I'm not going to stop you if you want to kill him. We may find it a harder journey, though.
Oh,
It's up to you, Grint.
he shouldn't get away with this. None of them should get away with it.
Grint,
He's
I
being
think you...
employed by somebody else. I don't think any of his actions are necessarily his own. I don't even think he's as happy as he's pretending to be right now. He's just forgotten how to be anything other than drunk.
Listen, boy. Sometimes you just gotta kill your way up the
Excuse
chain.
me, who got the last shot?
turns.
Charlie is slowly moving out of the room.
You should be. Grant.
I'm gonna take a seat, cross my legs.
He's like ready
That's so
to
good.
jump. He is shaking so bad.
Timing.
Tackles Eden. Grant tackles Eden.
Eden doesn't move out of the way.
You do so. You easily. Eden is a bit willowy. You're quite burly. You tackle him easily.
From the portal to the room, to what level of aggression is Grint bringing to the table here? Is it older brother angry at younger
Older brother. There you go. You get
All
it
right,
perfectly.
Yeah.
Not,
So
I'm going to murder you.
Yeah.
Grant is like standing over Eden. He goes, "We picked up a lot of things along the way. When did you pick up those stones, huh? Where do you get off?"
Look, I'm slowly learning things from being in your presence. If you find this inhospitable, maybe you should look at your teaching methods.
We're in a war zone.
Yeah.
That man is an enemy. He can only be seen as an
What
enemy.
the
What
fuck
more could he
is-
be?
He wasn't the one who used the quill. That was us. I understand that you cannot go and punch yourself, but he is not going to give you the satisfaction that you think he will.
Then what will?
We have to find out who's pulling these strings. He avoided your question. He avoided Lorne's. He did not define who we were. I don't think going back to the Baron is going to make him explain who's keeping him on his payroll.
How do you know that? I can be very persuasive.
My concern right now is Mestra. I will always say that we should be taking the direct path to her. I think somebody else in this room has the answers that we seek, and
I sincerely hope you're not expecting me to have your answers. He's poking his
No.
head back through the door.
He's talking about me.
Yes. I'm happy that you found your freedom, Tierney.
Me too. And I'm happy that you found your spine. I, for one, am very impressed. Grant, you should let go of him.
Grant walks away.
Let's talk about our route to Mithranor. Where's Alan, by the way?
Alan is
Fishing.
perfect. Alan is contemplatively fishing on the dock, and
Boots on boat.
you'd be able to summon her quickly. Her boots are on the boat if you wanted to go. That is well within reason.
Perfect. I just don't want to leave her behind.
She would
I
not
think
be.
it's
She,
best to leave her for a little bit.
It's a great clarification.
Okay. We can discuss if we'd like Ray Portier. My mistake. Captain Barrack to ride the Pine on the dock, as it were. I can't pilot this boat without the control mechanism. I assume he has it. So in that way, we do need him. But, whatever Dark Force employed us is obviously tracking us through him at this moment. Not that they need it, but for piloting their vessel, our intentions are more than clear. If you wanted subterfuge, this is definitely not it. I have a suggested route. I spent more than a year on the Pirate Isles. I know these seas. I know these lands.
Carry on then. I am admittedly unfamiliar.
I am going to... I believe there was a table in the third room on the left.
there was. We're not on that map, but yes, you can. There was a table in the galley, where next to where Grint was sleeping, like a big eating table that you could dagger into the table to secure your map.
I would like to unfurl said map,
You do so.
and I have burned a line in the map commiserate to where I think our route should be, and I'll narrate it as we go. We're here, where the X is at Dawn-Gleam. We left from Stelgaunt, the second X. Where the good Baron lies. I think our friend Grint here has unfinished business with the Baron. And I think we need to stop after 4 days, or 3 days, however long it takes, and re-provision ourselves in maybe an area that's more civilized than this border town run by Zent agents. So I propose we set sail from Dawn-Gleam, skip Sairloon, go around the Cape to Selgaunt, crack as many heads as we like, or as few heads as we like, and then make for the city of Elmwood. You can see it marked at the tip of the Dragon Reach. Now, these lands are going to be perilous. Sembia is not the only merchant naval power who's ruthless in this area. Sembia's forces are stretched thin. I think the forces to the east will have a lot of interest in commercial vessels traveling with lightly armed crew, such as ourselves. I think that we are going to limp into this harbor, so we cannot take a direct route to Hillsfar, which is the closest city to Mithranor and the Cormanthor. I think we should stop at Elmwood, then make with the boat to Hillsfar after we regain our footing, and then on foot walk to Mithranor, which is another perilous journey through dense wood, and who knows what devilry lies there. If anybody has a better suggestion, this is my suggestion, and I think genuinely is the best suggestion.
Do what you want. Let me know when you need a sword swung. And Grant goes into the kitchen and starts doing push-ups.
Lorne will nod to this. I'm not much of a pathfinder myself. I trust a man who spent a year in the Pirate Isles would be more than fit to find a way.
Eden.
My gut tells me that the cities are dangerous right now, and admittedly, I don't know much about Cormanthor, but it seems like there's a more direct route if we swing around the helm at Scardale and take that river up and then make a path through the forest. We have all of these hunting supplies now.
The Cormanthor were ancient elven lands of my forebears. And when that kingdom fell, they were scattered to the winds. When Mithranor fell, the seat of this land was scattered to the winds. The interior of Cormanthor, 50 years ago, looks like Cormyr looks today. I have no idea what it looks like today. I fear a prolonged journey through this dense, unguarded wood would find us more Baelors, which I prefer not to tangle with, than the known quantity of corrupt warlords. We could discuss this as a group. If you've never been into the heart of Cormanthor, I would suggest that elven woods are notoriously guarded. When those wards fall, who fills the gap?
A fair notion.
That's a good take.
Lorne, you're full elvish blood. Can you agree to this?
I would tend to agree, yes. While my feet have never stepped foot there, the stories sound true to what you're saying.
I also don't know how wide this river is going to be for a three-masted vessel.
Yeah, speaking of the vessel, who lets a spelljammer, if this is, and he'll kick his foot into the deck that he's standing on, fall into such disrepair?
Perhaps the illusion of disrepair is the perfect guise for a spelljammer. If the ship was gleaming bright, sailing into Dawn Gleam, do you think the Zent would just let us sail into the harbor unmolested?
Fair notion as well.
I suppose my other question is, if this is a magical ship, are we really limited to the sea?
You're going to have to ask Barrick. I know some of these vessels can travel the plains, although I prefer not to do that.
Is that dangerous too?
Incredibly so, yes.
Yes, incredibly.
Okay.
I have a lot of confidence in myself and Grint and the rest of this group, and we would be destroyed without a blink of an eye.
I feel admittedly much more comfortable on a sea of thieves than a literal sea of fire.
This makes sense. I think when Alan feels like company again, it would be good to see what contacts she may have, as well as I feel it may be safer to travel with the people that she knows in the near future.
I have a contact. I am not completely confident in, but I believe I have a contact in the Elmwood that would provide us at least respite. Should we take this route, I think we would find this a worthy haven. Again, it's a risk. I don't know what's happening right now in all of the realms, but it's better than nothing. Lauren, I think you'll find that we are skipping what I believe is your ancestral lands of Elventry. It's a predominantly elven-dominated city. I don't think you want to tangle with the elves just yet. And Hillsfar is more of a typical settlement with corrupt humans and dwarves and whatnot. I think you will find that more to your liking. Do you agree?
At this point, I would.
We can stop there if we really want. I have no connections there, but I think we will find an elven port quite inhospitable right now.
Yes, well, if I'm to find other members of the branch of my family, I doubt they would wish to find me.
I think a city full of mages who have just lost their power is quite a powder keg to step into. Yet we
so-
walk to Mithranor.
Over the table, Lauren knows spelljammers pretty much through and through, at least through encyclopedic knowledge of them. Can some spelljammers fly in this context? They don't necessarily have to go through planes, but can they?
You sense that there is someone near, if not dear, who may be able to help you with this.
Captain Barrick.
Before you decide to kill him, I believe I would like to have a bit more of a conversation with your, captain, my captain.
And then again, across the table is what would Eden know about the Zentil Keep?
You know that it is the source of the Black Network. Zentil Keep is the base of operations for the Zentarum. It is a modern city. Massive amounts of trade and the information economy in Faerun start there.
Is it known to be particularly lawless or dangerous?
To the contrary, the law is enforced to exacting standards. Zentil Keep is under direct control and is very martial and militarized. You think that there are many better places to break a law than there. If you were trying to smuggle something, you would not want to smuggle it into Zentil Keep, for example. The Zent are a lot of things, but lawless is certainly not one of them. They are exacting.
That's good to know.
Were we talking about stopping at Zental Keep?
No, I was asking across the table what Eden might know about it, if only because I think he might feel nervous about venturing towards the heart of the Zentarum. But I don't think he would necessarily be familiar enough to know exactly what that means for the other towns in the area.
David doesn't even know. We're in uncharted waters.
We're living in interesting times.
Exactly. David and Tierney are taking risks on this route. I don't think any route is without risks right now.
Before we map out our agreed upon destination, Lauren will go above deck and attempt to hail the captain.
He hails you back with a over-flourished miniature bow and a dramatic flair to his hello.
Hello.
Hail.
Word on the air around here is that boat, the vessel by which we are standing on right now, and he will come closer and in a more hushed tone, isn't necessarily as it seems yet.
He leans into you, pressing almost his nose to your nose, and says, "People have been talking to you about airboats?"
Yes, I was wondering if this bird may spread its wings, as it were.
It must be so much fun traveling with such imaginative people. I can only imagine what they say at night. Is it exciting for you?
I'm understanding. Sorry. I'm understanding all too well the history you bear between you and the bear. To look directly at his feet at this point, as if to notion the people below deck.
He shakes his head. You're asking if the people below deck and the Baron?
No, simply making note of our dwarven friend's mistaste for you.
I suspect he has mistaste for a lot of things in this world. Mr. De Navire. I didn't practice that one. What's Mr. De Navire? Barrick hands you his bottle. The mouth is open. Inside, there is red liquid.
He'll swill it around in the bottle, but not take a drink.
He hands you his bottle. He puts his big hand on your shoulder and says, "Why don't you take that one to Grint Grommel? Tell him it's a favor to smooth over any type of lingering doubts in the man's mind. Could you do that for me?"
Oh, well, no. A drink among friends, then.
Friends for life.
Lauren will take pause to this notion and move below deck again.
Roll insight.
Well, Mike, Lauren critically failed.
You hear a creak as you walk back below decks.
He'll try to find Grint doing whatever form of calisthenics and set the bottle next to him.
Grint's like breathing heavy. The fuck is that?
Swill. Among friends.
Get it away from me.
He'll set it up on the table with the map.
He says, if I drink that, I'm gonna end up stabbing that son of a bitch.
I don't think that was his intent.
Probably not, but he's kind of a dumbass.
Grint, gazing at the bottle, you see yourself reflected in it. Then another Grint, and another. Something about this bottle seems like more than liquor to you. Roll Arcana.
Okay. Four.
You have a funny sense that this would do more than just fuck you up.
In a negative way or ambiguous?
In an ambiguous way.
Grint kind of looks at it more. Is there any label on it? Nothing? Or just a bottle?
No label whatsoever. From up above, Alan Vaughn, let me know when you have concluded your fishing sojourn and are ready to rejoin the party.
Grint will pop off the cork, do a little deep inhale.
The smell reminds you of something. Nothing specific. Roll insight again. And as you look at the liquid, you see it's crimson, translucent.
16 insight.
You remember when you first started to learn to cast spells. You remember the first time you went fishing, what the tackle box smelled like. Something about this reminds you of casting spells in the same way. It takes you back to a time when you were more connected with the weave. Something about it seems like more than you bargained for.
Grint, just because you said that, Grint is going to go top deck, and while he's fishing, he's going to drink that bottle. He's going to fish and drink.
Okay. We will resolve that in a moment. As you drink it, you take a swig. You have a sudden sense of authority. You feel like if you take another big drink, you could be the straw that stirs the drink. What is everyone else doing? And I'd really like to see, as soon as Alan is here, I want to include her in this.
Yes, absolutely. I would like to take a fiver here soonish.
Yeah.
Why don't we take the fiver right now?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey. Oh, I'm excited for this. I think this end of session is going to be one of the biggest ones in terms of setting the stage for the rest of the campaign. So to make sure that everyone is here and engaged and like ready to go with it. We may not set sail until next week, depending on how this plays out. I think I'm going to go get a drink. I'll be back in a minute.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hey, okay, I swapped over to data from instead of Wi-Fi, so I guess I'll just try to do Roll20 on my phone, I guess.
I don't think you need to do roll 20. We can describe the scene to you, I think. If that's the
Well,
hurdle.
no, I don't think it. No, Roll20's been fine. It's been fine this entire time, and then all of a sudden, I put my phone on the Wi-Fi, and then it was just like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
It seemed like it happened with my AirPods in, and then so I took my AirPods out, but like now nothing is connecting. So, yeah. So I want to use Discord on my phone and Roll20 on my iPad, but I don't know if that's gonna work because I just swapped over my iPad for Discord because my phone was just gave up basically. Hello. Why?
How's your trip going?
It's been really good. It's been really good. Very busy. But today I took like a half day, kind of like 6 hours off essentially. And then I have my kiddo, so he went to sleep watching a movie. So I was like, okay, D&D.
Where are you again? Where'd you travel to?
I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm like central PA right now. Yeah, my messages weren't going through either, so that was so weird. But I should be okay. I'm not like lagging or anything, right?
No, you sound fine.
You sound fine, yeah.
Yay. Okay. I'll just like mute and unmute myself on here. I'm probably
Well, that was laggy.
You are become robot.
I think it'd be better just leave it off.
It's
Yeah,
probably
I think
just
the-
video disconnecting.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, okay, I'm back. Yeah, I turned my camera off. We'll leave that off.
It's probably just a bitrate issue from wherever you are.
Yeah. Well, I had to turn off my the Wi-Fi because the Wi-Fi was giving me more issues than my data was. So one way or another, I will make it work.
They got away with stealing the skull. That was so cool.
That is
I
so
was-
cool.
It's a pretty sick item.
Very strong. Hope nothing could possibly come of it. Yeah, maybe just pack that thing full of alligator meat.
Yeah, why not, right?
True. It's our new ice chest.
I hope at some point somebody tries to let Lauren identify the ambiguous meat.
I mean, you could do it when you eat it.
I'm so happy you guys said I was fishing. I was like, yes, fishing.
I figured that was like the one thing Alan would do.
Absolutely,
the most
Alan would be like, we're on the boat, we're by water, I'm fishing.
Don't talk to me. I'm fishing to cope.
Oh no, people can talk to me. I'm just fishing.
Also across the board, I'm super glad Tyranny just immediately made a decision of how we're gonna go. You present me with a map, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. That way.
It's also not sketchy at all, right?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I know.
So, what did Barrick have to say? I lagged out for a second there. What did he have to say about steering the ship?
He doesn't say anything.
He just
What a
He's
pop.
not giving us anything.
immediately
Yeah.
echoed Vegates at me, and I left.
He's here to spy on us. Just accept it.
We need to find out how he does it, and then we can kill him or throw him overboard, and something else can kill him.
Just Grant.
Just let Grit have it.
Look, I don't like to have blood on my hands. If the sharks eat him, that's not on me.
Grant
I
is
thought
the sharks.
went-
Well, I'm not Tierney is not confident we could pilot the boat without him, so.
Is that a prop ring that you're
You
wearing?
might be wrong about that.
Yes.
That's really cool. I like it.
I immediately ordered it after last session.
Yeah.
Wait, what is it? Nice.
Some sort of
Wow, so
axe
beautiful.
symbol.
It's like a papal ring, like Kiss the Ring.
Oh, true. Yeah.
I got it sized to my pinky.
It's powerful. Does Tyranny have any ring? I'm not sure Lorne would care to notice, but across the board.
Tierney has never announced any jewelry. You may gaze at Tierney and see a ring on each finger, one of which is newly added.
One would assume that Tierney has something on him that's enabling him to use magic, which they've seen him cast grease, so.
It's just my moxie and guile.
I'd like to imagine Tyranny just had like a bottle of grease on him. He goes, "Grease!" and he just like throws it.
Yeah. It's
My
almost
God,
a
he's
shame
so
that
talented.
Tierney and Barrick don't talk to each other more because like they're the exact same kind of deflective.
Yeah, pretty much. No, I view myself more as the sniper from TF2
Oh,
with the
God.
jar of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's just bacon grease.
I
Jarati.
could never get that game.
Spent far too much time of my youth playing TF2.
I spent just the right amount.
I really tried.
At the very beginning, when Mike was doing the introduction, was he saying that there was an alliance being proposed between the Fae and the Zend?
The
Mhm.
Fae. Thay.
Fae.
Thay, not Fey.
Oh, was it? Oh, I heard
Yeah.
Faye.
Sastam is, like, in D&D lore, is a famous lich/demi-lich who runs the Red Keep atop the highest peak in the Kingdom of Thay, which is a megacracy. It's run by, like, ruthless mages. Slavery is legal. It's not a very nice place. Zent and the Zentarum are not a nation. They're like a faction that operates in the shadows. So them taking control of Cormyr is a little out of character. They are now an open power player in the realm. I am sure that an alliance between the Thay and the Zentarum would destabilize local politics in a very extreme way, because it's like the two big power players and information brokers in the region working together. Everyone else would be like, holy shit, we can't let that happen. Anyway, Sastam is who I've been seeing in my dreams.
And Lorne did once too, right?
I don't think so.
Incorrect. The only character that I have seen so far is
Cyric.
Cyric, or an effigy of him, and the Harper lady, and Dawn.
Rail.
Rail is her name, thank you.
Whoa, she has a name.
Lateral Silverhand, I thought you were going to say, but yeah, Rail. So,
Also,
the red mages are from Thay. They wear red robes, and they're generally like ruthless dickheads.
Where is Fae in relation to this map?
It's
East.
northeast by 2 kingdoms. It spans a very large area, and their influence reaches past their kingdom.
Okay.
Shall we?
Reconvene.
Let's reconvene. Grin Cromwell, you find yourself with a bottle that is more than a bottle. Is Alan back with us?
She is, but she's muted.
Yeah, it just took me a second. That's all.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Alan Vaughn, you come back from your fishing sojourn to find Grint on the deck, studying a bottle. And below decks, we have Tierney, Eden, and Lorne together in a room.
Alan,
Yes.
you're from Cormyr. Do you have the mental fortitude to look at this map I've proposed?
I could give it a shot.
I will gesture at my proposed route and stand aside.
Assume that Tierney took the best route possible.
Say that one more
It was a
time.
route.
I said I would assume that Tierney planned the best route possible, unless I see otherwise. I'm just trying to navigate Roll20 and Discord on one screen.
Understood.
I can message it to you if that helps.
This is all. We're not really on Roll20 right now. We're mostly just in. There's a map in the campaign channel in Discord. This is a map that the party bought at the Dongli markets and has
Okay.
since been marked up by Tierney Fang.
I'm just going to leave myself off of mute to make it a bit easier. There
That's
shouldn't be any background noise, but let me know if anything does through.
will do.
I think Tierney took what David would believe is an obvious route.
Miss Vaughn, if you have questions about different elements on this map, it is presented to you on a what you see is what you get basis. This is a map that the party has in person. If you have any questions about character knowledge or anything like that, please let me know. But there is, I will say that the notions of best route, most efficient route, anything like that, there are no promises right now. You will have to chart your own course.
I see. Okay, so let me ask you this. So, in character, would I know of any hardships we would face going through the Dragon Reach and the Moon Sea rather than traveling through like one of the rivers? Because it seems like we could go through the river from Sembia kind of up that way with High Moon and going through like the Dowlands and stuff. Dale lands, I guess, or going past Scardale and up that river. Would I know of any hardships we may face on one of those routes rather than taking the Dragon Reach, or vice versa?
You
I
would
can roll for it.
no. You
if you need me
know.
to.
You know intimately of dangers that would lurk in both waterways. You know that the Dragon Reach is infested with pirates. You know that much as Dawn Gleam on the Point is often used as a way to allow whatever power holds it to bully ship traffic and excise, taxes and things like that. You would experience much of the same going through the Reach. The Reach is well known for piracy, raids. It is a major shipping waterway, and as a result, opportunistic pirates have infested it for 1,000 years. You know
I
that
see. Okay.
you know that the River Cheonthar, which cuts up through Sembia, starting in Selgon and going up into the Dale Lands, is a narrow, swift waterway. It would be difficult for most ships to go against the current. It is, however, possible. You know that as Sembia's primary internal trading artery, it is well patrolled, well secured, and is definitely within the firm grasp of the Sembian Navy. This waterway is well secured and generally considered to be, Sembian sovereign waters. It is merely a shipping channel that has developed inside of this river, essentially.
Okay. What about the route going past Scardale and up instead of going through Sembia?
This is one of the least mapped areas of the world. The Cormanthor is a massive forest, and for many years,
Oh no, I mean the waterway. The waterway. Because there's the one that goes up through Sembia, and then there's the one that goes. I mean, that might be also Sembia, so maybe that's what you're telling me about.
the any river, any waterway, large, small, that goes to the Cormanthor. Imagine the Amazon. Imagine
Okay.
the Amazon 2 centuries ago. It is largely unmapped. There are some vague ideas about what may lurk there, but it is mostly known for its dangers rather than any firm ideas about what could be there. You've heard legends of mythical things that are there more so than this is where we would go from point A to point B.
Got it. Okay. All right. So with that knowledge, I would say to Tierney, well, would you rather fight pirates for sure, or would you like to take more uncharted lands?
I would rather fight human pirates who have frailty of the mind any day than Baylors who have no frailty.
I
What
can
forces?
definitely.
What forces do we all believe de-seated Mithranor as the seat of opulence in this world? I've heard it's demons. Our encounter earlier today seems to corroborate that.
I see. Well, if that's what you think is best, then I would say we would take the Dragon Reach as charted on this map. If for any reason we find that that's not going to be the best plan of action, we can go west past Scardale and up the river to get to Mithranor. We'll have to go through the Cormanthor, but new things are always fun to find, right?
Perhaps our plans will change as we get to each new step.
I agree. The only other thing that I can say is if we were to go west past Scardale, we do hit a few different cities along the way that can be utilized for replenishing our food supply and weapons and things along those lines. If we go straight through the Dragon Reach, we may run into pirates or may run out of food. There's a lot of different things that could cause us detriment.
That's true. I had thought maybe we stop in Selgon and get a hearty measure of rations. I
If they
was
have
able,
it, of course.
if anybody has it. That is a good question. It's going to be a perilous journey either way. Will we
So
prefer to face the wilds or face the urban wilds?
it's a tough call. The one thing I can say that we could potentially do is if we go the route of the Dragon Reach, we could potentially see if Tantris has any supplies and things. Since it's on that side of the waterway, I wonder if they were affected as badly as we were here, considering the fact that it started here. I would assume it would take some time to reach over there, but we truly don't know.
If Mister's dead, the weave is dead everywhere at once.
Well, that's not what I mean. I just mean there may be more portals and things like that opening on this edge of the world because this is where it happened. But I mean, it's all theory. All theory.
Yeah, we're taking our best bet here. I think I have mapped a route that I think is best for each individual person in this party at once.
Well, I am happy to follow your lead.
We can deviate as new information comes up. If we find that the reach is impenetrable, I'm sure they want to get to the mage-rich lands of the Cormanthor. So if we find that the pirate blockade is too dense, we may decide to take another route. But I think in all situations, us landing at the Good Baron's former domicile maybe is in everybody's interest.
I think so. But do we feel that it may be a waste of time to go, or?
I think it will be a waste of time in terms of getting gold, selling the quill, perhaps even getting resources, but we're currently on a mission of information. Nobody wants
Absolutely. So,
information more than I do.
of course, no, I feel the exact same way. Do we feel that we're not going to sell the quill, right? Although it seems that it's broken its tie with Mr. currently, I don't know if that will always be the case, and letting it fall into someone else's hands in case, the weave returns, it might not be the best idea.
I think it's a nice souvenir to remind us of what we've done. And I think we should bear it with us.
Another feather in your cap, then.
I agree.
Grint Grommel, you come to understand that you have lightning in a bottle. You always wondered where this expression came from, and you look up to see Barrick giving you a small bow. There is a shit-eating grin on his face, and he says, with a flourish, "Enjoy the drink on me, Mr. Grommel." Now,
Grint
if I may...
looks at him. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
He simply says, "Now, if I may," and he goes, if you do not interrupt him, and it sounds like you do. You interrupt him before
Grint,
he waits.
Grint is sitting with his legs off the side of the boat, okay? Grint says, "Sit."
Barrick seems to think better of it for a moment, but relents. He sits alongside you, his long legs next to your stubby ones.
Grint's just kind of like rolling the bottle over in his hands. And he looks at Barrick. He says, "How many?"
How many?
"How many people did you take to their deaths?"
He seems to mentally tally. "I'm just doing some multiplication here, but probably 240, 260.
"How can you live with that?"
He smiles and claps you on the back and says, "And how many for you?"
Counting's never been my strength.
"Mine neither. That's why I estimated."
I don't think that's true. I think you know exactly how many. I can tell. Not good at hearing a lie, but I'm good at seeing them. You know which one I see the most often? It's the one in the men I kill. They tell themselves the same thing. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna survive. But that's not how you survive a war. You know how you survive a war.
How's that, Master Grommel?
You tell yourself, you know one day you're gonna die, and it's gonna be glorious. And that's why you gave me this bottle, because you know you're already dead. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Have you ever noticed how all adventurers are young men?
Not all of them, just most.
You're getting old, Mr. Grommel. He claps you on the back. "Now, you promised to kill me if I touched you again. I hope you'll forgive that one. Now,
Just remember, you should always, always be wary of an old man in an occupation where men die young."
Mr. Grommel, everyone who's ever met you has been completely terrified of you.
I don't see it on you.
He's silent. He stands. He walks toward the gangplank. "Enjoy the drink on me. And I'll see you soon."
Hey. Grint goes back to fishing.
You do so.
If I may. Now that the conversation of our route has been settled, Lauren is now back onto more pragmatic matters. He'll set the ring on the center of the table and begin to cast Find Familiar. Using the ring specifically as the focus, he has no familiar in mind, letting the ring choose for him. From what does the Shadow Weave will to him?
You attempt to summon a familiar. Far, far away, you think you can feel wings flapping. It's on the edge of your imagination. You can't see it, but you can feel it. Nothing happens yet.
Through this hour-long process, casting it as a ritual, he'll keep mind of those wings.
You spend time studying the ring and wondering what you've summoned to yourself.
Assuredly. It'll come in due time. Once the casting is complete, he'll slip the ring back on his finger.
The ship sways in the harbor. The sun is starting to set.
Are we to go then?
We should leave sooner than later. I bought one ration for everyone.
Well. What is it?
I don't know. And I'm hoping it's edible. I'm no culinary expert, but I would call this tripe at best.
Does Tierney produce this?
I do. I have 5 rations of undisclosed, semi-tanned meat.
It smells like tripe.
Lauren would like to inspect the meat further.
Roll nature.
$17.
I've always wanted to say this. It reminds you of pork.
Reminiscent of pork.
How familiar is Lauren with this experience?
Unfortunately, a bit all too well. Your mind does its best to suppress what you hope is merely a suspicion.
Lauren will push the portion that was set aside for him back to Tierney, producing the ration that he has in his pack. For now, I will abide by my vegetarianism.
And
Thank
here
you
I
for
thought you
keeping
had a
me alive.
taste for blood.
He will scoff at. If only. Once one is forced to feed upon something so often, perhaps that taste isn't to one's liking.
Very well. Who would I be, Lauren, if I did not allow a man a little bit of mystery in their language?
It seems everyone on
Nobody
board this
here is
boat
gonna be
speaks in riddles.
precise ever.
I am very direct.
Yes, you say very much of nothing.
Eden, did you like the cigarette you had earlier? I bought a fresh pack. Care to share one with me?
No. Eden is not going to share a cigarette with you, Tierney. You can keep your body-killing chemicals to yourself.
You realize we're adventurers, sailing a spelljammer through the pirate-infested Reach to walk into the Dwemer heart of the abyss to face off against a dark god. And cigarettes are your concern. We're not going to live through the week. This will kill us in a. You're right, Alan.
All I'm saying is I don't want to be the one coughing when I'm trying to fight something.
Oh,
Don't
you
make
do that?
any comments, Tierney. I will choke you. I swear to God.
Lorne will raise his hand. All things considered, meat aside, I'll take the chemicals and death for that.
Lauren, let's share some time together.
That's fine. You can have your sad boy to smoke with.
You know, Alan, it behooves you not to make your favorites so obvious.
What? Everybody knew you were my favorite.
Why don't you share a cigarette with him? You don't have to smoke, just
Absolutely not.
you could fish, he could smoke.
Back when I attended academy, there were certain people who just jumped at the opportunity to become a hall monitor. And you, Alan, strike me as just that person. I think we won't be sharing a cigarette. Not because I wouldn't offer, but because it would be improper. Me, I am the peddler of cigarettes, and you are the peddler of unnecessary order here.
Lorne
And we
lets out
both
a
have
genuine, heartfelt chuckle at this analogy.
a role to play here, Alan. And I'm about to go play mine.
Because
We
That's
are
fine.
in
If you want
5
to
years-
smoke in the range of talking while I do my fishing, you're more than welcome to. Just don't blow it my way.
I wouldn't dream of it.
Yes, you would.
No, I'm not an agent
I
of
bet
chaos.
that's all you dream about. I bet when you dream, you probably dream of doing things to annoy me. I feel it in my bones.
Projection aside, I don't dream.
Ah,
Now let's get out of here, Lauren.
Lorne will take this as a notion to leave.
I'll make small talk with Lauren
Alan
about the
feels
variety of
some
cigarettes
way
that I've
about
smoked.
Tierney always saying that he doesn't dream. Alan's sitting there pondering, like, everyone dreams. There's no reason why he wouldn't dream. Like, what the hell does he dream about that he does not want to bring to the surface?
Why don't you ask him? See what happens.
Does she say that out loud or anything to that effect?
No. Just
Then
her
Eden
pondering
says
things.
nothing.
She'll find the correct. Yeah, she'll find the right moment to bring it up.
All right. So does Crint catch anything with this fishing net? This big, chunky net.
You toss your net into the water. You find a little bit detritus today. Bits of wood, a shell covered in barnacles. There's not much to catch here, lying in the harbor.
Yeah, I figured as much, but might as well throw. Might as well shoot your shot. Yeah, I was also expecting to catch the loot, but someday.
Lauren, you a big smoker?
A habit I've unfortunately picked up by contraband, if nothing else. One isn't supposed to smoke in the library, ruins the pages.
I would like to go to the aft of the vessel.
Lorne will follow. If it is obvious that this is an open invitation.
It is. I will hold out 2 packs. One is called Red Royals, and the other is called Back to Hell.
Yeah. The second one then.
There's 3 cigarettes left. Let's share them and throw the last to the sea gods. The bitch queen could smoke with us.
I like it.
In your mind's eye, you can imagine Umberlee smoking a cigarette right now.
I'm going to flick one off the dock, and I'm going to light Lawrence for him, and light mine off of Lawrence.
You do so. As the smoke rises into the air, you have a sense of stasis. You realize how quiet and still the air is here.
I'll blow the smoke straight up into the air and watch it diffuse above the harbor. So, Lorne, we live. Maybe not fully whole as people, but we do live.
On aboard the boat with the god of death. I'll point up to the crow's nest. Quite a unsettling sight to see it from this angle.
Have you never been up in the crow's nest?
Oh, but I awoke in the crow's nest this morning. I'm sure I
Figuratively
recounted-
or literally?
Figuratively. I'm sure I did recount the dream to you, yeah?
Oh, I wasn't listening. My apologies.
Lorne will take an awkward pause to this, almost dejected, as if his words were going unheard. I spoke to the god of death, murder and lies. Right up there,
Kelvor or Sirik?
the latter.
Sirik. I understand you why you were so consumed with that ring I gave you.
Power is power.
Power is power, now isn't it?
You did have a blonde crewmate, yeah?
Yes, but he was killed.
Right over there, and he'll point towards where the darkness happened. At least where he saw it happen.
I didn't see it happen, did you? Is that what Sirik showed you?
Yes. I don't know why. If only maybe to bind me to the ship all the same.
It feels like such a small thing right now. A simple Zent spy knocked down by a Harper agent.
Yes, why
Who
would a
cares?
god wish to show me this?
Maybe it's an analogy. The gods don't like to speak directly. They like to make it all puzzly.
I will admit, I am not particularly fond of puzzles.
Yes, you are.
Lorne will smirk and nod. You caught me in my trap. Perhaps not all my lies died with mystery.
What worries your lies to Mistra? I mean, now they're irrelevant. She's dead. The Dwemer home lies cold, I assume.
When one finds themselves in the proclivities that I find myself in, the lies are those to fit in. To have others believe that you are not the danger they think you are, regardless if you are or aren't. I still carry the code of Waterdeep to convince any that wish to believe it so that I am an agent of Waterdeep. Would you not do so, in a land so ruthless? As he'll cast his hand out towards the mainland.
Everyone's wearing a mask here. I appreciate you showing me yours.
And of yours?
Do you want to know?
I do find some semblance of curiosity, yes. If we are to be traveling together to go save the corpse of a god, perhaps lies aren't particularly on the table anymore.
Information is a dangerous thing, Lord. But since we're now friends, ask me one direct question and I'll answer it to you. I swear this.
If I were to come out, I'll take another puff of or drag of the cigarette. If I were to call out to the Lady of Loss in my times of need, to whom do you call, Tierney?
That's a great
Mask.
question. That's a very good question.
He will nod knowingly. And then your mask is revealed.
I don't know if he takes me, though.
Yeah, the Lady Lost certainly doesn't either. Clearly making friends with the god of murder at my side. Perhaps you'll find your own as well.
We all make bargains in the dead of the night to try and find some way to make it through.
If only.
Alan Vaughn,
Yes.
You notice Eden attempting to get your attention with a glance.
Are you feeling okay? It's not like you to snap at Tierney like that.
Or is it?
I mean, sometimes. I think.
I mean, when we started this journey, it was the two of you leading together. We pretty much followed the both of you.
An excellent observation.
Well, I mean, I did snap at him
Tierney and Ellen used to be close.
quite a bit back then.
Sorry, could you say that one more time? Start to finish stuff. Let's maybe check back in a moment.
Hi.
Let's try again. Alan Vaughn?
Can you guys hear me okay now?
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect. Go ahead. Or not. Right now we got nothing. Let's circle back.
Oh. Damn. That was good too.
Okay. Okay. Round 3. Alan, give it a shot.
All right, I switched to my phone. Is that better?
So far, so good.
Okay, great. All right. Is the quality okay?
So far, so good.
Okay, great. In the beginning, I used to snap at Tierney all the time. But, you know, it's a little stressful not having access to my magic and the impending doom. So yeah, I guess I'm a little stressed. Fishing helps though, always.
Was your patron such a beacon to you? Like, would he guide you in any way?
I mean sometimes. Before I found Reginald, I just used to use different artifacts to help me along the journey, and so having him gave me the ability to wield my own power, which was pretty nice. I mean, it's nice not having to carry around 6 different things to help you do one task, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel pretty useless, which sucks because that leaves everything up to Tierney, and, you know, I don't always agree with his methods. But, yeah, I'm feeling pretty on edge and pretty useless, so.
I mean, I feel more confident about our route now that you've taken a look at it, suggested alternatives we talked through. Now, what I believe could be objectively the best path there.
Yeah, I'm not so sure, but I'm just gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
But how are you feeling? Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, it's a very strange mixture. I still
Oops.
nothing seems to fill the void that Mistra held, but the moon still rises, and in that I feel a sense of calm that I don't know how to give to anybody else.
It's good. It's good to hold on to a piece of reality. I'm just hoping that we can access things again. You know, Reginald was kind of a friend, and one of the only people in this world that I trust. Well, not world, but one of the only people I trust. So
I know.
losing him is an intense feeling. I just hope that he's still there, and that losing the access to the weave hasn't completely destroyed the pocket dimension that he was in. Yeah.
I know that it's very hard for you to trust anybody at all.
Yeah.
And I guess to that, I wanted to ask. You remember when Lauren was telling us about his dream?
Yeah.
About Rail and Dom?
Mm-hmm.
And how Rail was the Harbor agent and Dom was the Zent agent.
Yeah. We knew that.
When you meet another Harper, is there a way to tell?
There's a few different little signs. Some harpers wear a pin to signify that they're a harper, but usually it's hidden. We don't just show it off. There are people that obviously don't like us the way that we are. And, sometimes it's just a matter of words. So the fact that Rael said she knew someone who plays the harp, it's a pretty clear sign. There's also some different mottos and things that we have that, that lead to that knowledge.
Things that the Zent would know, right? I guess I can't.
Depends. They would have to infiltrate or interrogate a harper. We don't just go around willy-nilly just throwing our phrases and things out there. It's, we do try to keep it relatively secret.
I just remember that she sent me to find you to pass this message, and then it was you who approached her directly.
Yes.
As if she were who she said she were. And in watching you snap at Tierney, I realized how much you trust me, and I would hate if anybody else were to take advantage of that and hurt you.
What do you mean? Why would they take advantage of that?
I'm just not certain Rael is who she says she is.
Why do you say that?
Unfortunately, it's a gut feeling. I can't. Obviously, she's not here to ask her to produce that pin or to ask her to name other Harper agents you might know in common.
Yeah. What I can say is that I am not just a Harper. I am the daughter of a high-ranking Harper family. And with that being said, I've been at large Harper events and things where my face would be recognized. So she may have known me from something like that.
Okay, maybe just don't wander off by yourself for a little while.
I mean, I don't really plan to, especially not without, I don't have access to the weave, and I don't have access to really anything that's going to give me the ability to protect myself. So I feel I will be hovering around the party a lot more than I would have liked, but...
Okay, well, if you need to go anywhere, please ask me. I will come with you.
Okay.
Lorne has access to the Shadow Weave. Tierney gave him that. I think if you need anything magical, I'm sure he would help.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll figure it out, but what really stood out to you about Rail? Where is all of this coming from? Because everything was fine until now. Is it just Lorne's dream? or like what has you bringing this up?
It's Lorne saw Cyric, and Cyric wanted him to see that moment. And I know it sounds like just a dream, and gods do not have to be who they say they are in dreams, not always, but
Well, when we head into town, depending upon how long we're there, I could see if my parents are at the museum, and I could throw around her name and see if anyone knows her.
I think
Bring you shirts.
she's not exactly high on our list of priorities. So it's up to you how you want to handle this information. It's more that if she were to resurface again in any way, I would just be careful.
All right, yeah, I'm being careful. I'm doing what I can. I didn't run into melee range of the demon.
Yes.
I'm being as careful as I can be. I just wish I was more assistance. So I guess I'm just going to perfect my fishing skills to bring some sort of use to this party.
Yeah, I think we'll have plenty of use for you. I know it must feel empty and wrong right now to not have access to the weave, but you've survived this long without it.
Yeah,
You're incredibly smart. You'll find your way.
Thanks, Eden. On a side note, I know that you said that I trust you. Don't tell Tierney, but I trust him.
Yeah.
The other I don't know about, but I do trust Tierney. But don't you tell him.
I might have a hard time with that, but I'll try.
The ship sways in the harbor. The sun has now set.
Perhaps we should look around the boat for the helm, yeah?
I would love to find out how the captain pilots this ship. My greatest fear is that he's just physically attuned to it.
That'd be quite unfortunate if Grint were to throw him overboard.
Yeah. Well, he's obviously here to spy on us.
Are you guys with us, or are you still in the...
We're upstairs.
I gotcha.
I think it's preferable to know where our spy is, as opposed to not.
The devil you know, agreed.
We can feed him the information we want him to have.
A
I was gonna say, I imagine even if you did get rid of them, eyes and ears are on top of us as it stands anyway.
I
One doesn't
agree.
just sending people off to go kill a god and let them free afterwards, you know?
I agree. They are not done with us. Drag deeply, Lorne. We have this moment of peace right now.
Your moment of mental peace is quickly shattered, Tierney. You wonder, where did Barrick go? He seems spontaneously missing. Sorry, conspicuously missing.
I'll sigh and glance around the boat.
Last time you saw him, he was on deck.
Lorne, I'm gonna look below decks. I'm not gonna find Barrick there. But I'm still gonna do it. Can you keep an eye out for him here?
Yes. I almost took that as an insult, but yes.
Oh, somebody should guard all the ports.
Lorne will flick the cigarette off the bow and stand next to the gangplank, waiting to see if anybody else is trying to board the ship.
I
do
will
so.
march downstairs straight toward barracks chambers.
The door is open. His chambers are obviously empty, as you suspected.
I'm going to toss them.
You do so. You find a poor quality hay mattress. You find ratty sheets. You find a wrapper from a pastry. You quickly grow frustrated with the lack of much of anything. His cabin seems strangely bare.
I'll go downstairs to where the locked chest was last time, looking for it. The one that I have the key to.
You still have the key for it. The chest is still on the lower deck. It contains, I could find them for you, there is a +0 and -1 leather armor.
I'm mostly trying to see if this is the same ship. Does the key still fit?
The key does still fit. Every bit of it seems as familiar as you remember it.
I'm going to come back upstairs. As I pass Alan and Eden in the middle deck. Without missing a beat as I walk, I'll just say, barracks gone.
Well, that's not surprising. I guess we have to find another method of sailing this ship then. Although, he wasn't here the first time around anyway, so someone else was sailing it at that point. We had to pick the captain up, if you don't remember.
I would like to make it to where the navigation wheel is.
It is exactly where you are. There is a wheel here. It must be connected to the rudder, you surmise, as you turn it, and something below you creaks.
I'm going to grip it tightly, close my eyes, and think deeply about what I feel.
You grip the wheel closely. You close your eyes and imagine the ship gliding through the Shadowfell. You open your eyes and find that you are still in Dawngleam.
Does Grint see him doing this?
You do. Grint, you see Tierney enter a reverie and attempt to sail the ship with his mind. It does not go well.
So how'd that go?
Pretty poorly.
Grint's gonna approach Tierney. Nah, that's not how it's done.
I'll step aside.
Nah, this thing's useless. Grint holds up the bottle. It's this.
It is a large glass bottle filled with a red liquid. You've seen Barrick drinking this since the first time you saw him.
I see that.
Are you guys up here?
Yeah, I'm right next.
Grint will hand the bottle to Alan.
It sounds like you're passing it around, letting people inspect it.
Yeah.
I would just like to, if I can, just investigate the bottle, see if there's anything that stands out to me. I don't know if it'd be investigation or arcana. Maybe arcana.
It swells with arcane power. This is an artifact of great importance. You know, even without touching it, that there is more in here than mere rum.
I think that Alan would take a swig.
Grint would stop her. He would say, no. No, careful.
I need to be of some use to you guys, and if this is the only way.
You don't have to do that, and there's only so much of it. We don't want to waste it.
I feel comfortable with Grint guiding us here. A dwarf captaining a boat? Hilarious.
Yeah. I'm no more a captain than Barrick is, honestly, but you don't have to be a captain to move this boat.
No, Grint. You're in the company of former wizards, sorcerers, and necromancers, and you Great Grommel solved how to pilot the Spelljammer. You are the captain here.
Barrett gave me the bottle. I guess it's chain of command. So fine. But yeah, the bottle. So, where are we going?
Well, I have this map.
Wait, did Barrick say where he was going?
No, he just fucked off.
What kind of mood was he in?
Barrack mood.
I think his departure is intentional.
I don't think that Grin sailing the ship is going to be our best option. We need him in the front line. If he's the one sailing the ship and we get into some type of combat, he's not going to be able to fight.
You
I
don't get it. You
do not
just drink
anything
the
else.
bottle and the ship goes.
Yeah.
You're not at the wheel. We've seen it work. It just goes on its own. That's it.
Alan, I wouldn't want you to imbibe anything that could be deleterious to your health.
I'm sure you wouldn't.
I'm not asking for it myself. I think it's poetic justice that Grint should be the one.
So what happens if he is the one that has to sail the ship and he can't be in the front line? Sure seems like all you have to do is drink it and it just goes, but what if you have to sit here and concentrate on it? What if you really need to make sure it gets where it needs to go?
I think that's a sensible thing to say.
I think if that was the case, Barrack sure as fuck wouldn't be the captain of this ship.
Well, the people that do the most delicate jobs are the ones that don't show it.
Tell you
He
what,
did it
Alan.
while he was sleeping, for fuck's sake, okay?
Tell you what, Alan. We are going through what is going to be the safest part of our journey. If we find that that's the case, I would gladly support this missive. But as of now, I think we all understand that this is ceremonial at best. Grint is a nice neutral party. He's the stable pillar on which we all tether our...
Neutral.
He's stable.
Grint is
Yeah,
the most
thank
stable
you. I
man
mean-
I know.
Could you knock him over if you try?
Exactly.
Sure, stability in that manner, but no.
Okay, tell you what, you're right. The rank of captain, too high and mighty for me, alright? Let's let Alan Vaughn, the Godslayer, pilot the boat.
On a side note, that's not my name.
Wait,
So the Alan Vaughn part or the Godslayer part?
yeah, some specifics would be nice.
She disregards and takes a drink of the bottle.
How much is left? How long does it last?
3 swigs is what you get. You get 3 destinations.
And Grint already took one, technically, right?
No, that didn't count. That was
Oh, that didn't
test the
count.
waters.
Okay,
No
okay.
pun intended.
Alan Vaughn swigs from the bottle of Barrack. Yes,
Yes.
it's in your hand. I don't think anybody can reasonably stop you if you just go for it.
One's not going to try either
Yes,
way.
I'm not
Indeed.
stopping it. Who
What
cares?
happened? Let's get a move on.
Alan Vaughn, designate a plane.
Designate a plane. A plane?
Please, the Prime, thank you.
Oh, yeah, we're staying on the Prime.
Designate a point on that plane.
Mithranor. What? Is that not what we're doing?
That was not the plan.
What is the plan? Oh, we were going. That's right. That's right. We needed to go to Sembia. No?
I have no input. You said the command.
Yeah,
Isn't
you are piloting. Go, pilot.
Yeah.
Pilot.
You,
Yeah, I think that Alan didn't want to go see the Baron anyway. She thought that it was a waste of time. So sure, we're going to Mithranor then.
you close your eyes and imagine this. In your mind's eye, you see a ship attempting to glide through the earth. When you open your eyes, nothing happens. you have a sense that the level of liquid in the bottle was unchanged.
Oh, damn.
What happened, Alan? Alan? Give us the bottle.
Joke's on you guys, I guess.
Grint's on the floor laughing so hard. Oh my god, you can't even fucking drink right.
Alan, give us the bottle. Come on.
Alan is furious and will shove it into Grint's chest, and then she will go downstairs because, as if she's already feeling useless enough, this is just another step in the direction of being completely and entirely useless.
Poor Alan.
I'm gonna follow Alan downstairs.
If she sees you following, she will go into the room that Eden and Ian used to share and will, if possible, put a chair up against the door.
You bar yourself in a room. The chair fits firmly under the door, and you block anyone from accessing it. Tierney, you feel a door slam in your face.
I'll gently knock, and I'll say, Alan, I'm not here to berate you, just to talk.
Well, it seems like Grint's your favorite person to talk to, so you can go talk to him.
I never had a little sister.
Yeah, well, I don't think you've had a big one either.
It's true, I haven't. I was an only child.
That's great. I'm glad for you. Fun.
Alan.
If anyone would like to talk to me, I'd be happy to talk to Eden.
Suit yourself. I'll leave.
Alan, you are enveloped in solitude once again. Grink Rommel, you have a bottle held to your chest.
Grint looks around. He's gonna say, "Any objections to shove it off?"
Carry on. Oh, Captain, my captain.
Grint just kind of smiles.
We should get you a hat.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Grint is going to take a swig, and he is visualizing in his mind the barren, stupid face that he hates so much.
Designate a plane.
This one. I don't know planes. The prime one.
Designate a point on the prime material plane.
Okay, Selgaunt.
You take a swig and close your eyes. Tastes like alcohol. Far above you, you watch as a 40-foot canvas sail slowly starts to unfurl itself. Oh, we drop it!
Grint says,
Oh, we end it here!
I'm gonna say a boat powered by drinking. This is amazing.
We end the session right there at that exact moment as the sails start to move.
To be fair, he wouldn't know where we'd go.
Barrack!
Same time next week? Yeah.
brother.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Definite.
Something tells me this is not the last we're going to see of Captain Alois Barrack.
I hope not.
His name Eloise?
Nah, I just made that up.
Okay.
I really want to stab him so bad.
I thought you would. I was fairly sure you were going to.
I did too. I
I was just waiting for you to push him off the boat when he sat down.
I could feel
Hand on shoulder.
the murder in your heart was strong today, Grant, and especially
It was.
after you said you put one more hand on me. He was rather handsy, wasn't he?
He was.
I'm glad.
Grant had some really good moments today.
I agree. I'm glad you were able to join us, Steph. Thank you for coming. Despite the circumstances, it was
course.
it was perfect because otherwise we would have had to end maybe halfway through this session. So this was
Yay!
excellent.
Well, I'm happy that I was able to. Yeah, the kiddo fell asleep watching Shrek number 2, and I was like, "This is my shot." So,
Yeah, thanks for making the effort. It's not easy when you're traveling.
yeah, absolutely. I'm always happy to play D&D. I mean, I don't really care where I'm at as long as I can get the Wi-Fi to work properly.
I did think this was a good Grint session.
A lot of characterization there. Yeah.
I was surprised Grant confronted me. Did not expect that.
Yeah, that was great.
I mean, yeah, it really was weird though. Like from his perspective, Grant's in full plate armor. He's a fighter. He's going toe to toe with the Baylor, and then Tyranny just like walks up and like starts stabbing. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And it just makes no sense to him at all. It's the last thing he would have expected. So he seriously reevaluated Tyranny in that moment.
I've been training. Been going to the gym. Yeah.
Been losing weight around the neck in particular.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a new prop. It's much more fun to play with.
I bet.
Yeah,
Shake
losing
neck as much.
is much less daunting than losing a whole ass head.
I dropped the necklace in the garbage when I threw it off the boat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I bet it was broken already, right?
It was. I was like holding the chain,
Yeah.
leaving that ship behind. Sailing off to new fortunes.
Poor Alan is just going to be in massive depression for the rest of her life.
You're gonna have to bounce back at some point, but I appreciate the
Sulking.
the sulking. Yeah, exactly. The temper tantrum into sulking. It's like very what a younger sibling would do.
It's realistic, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, it's realistic.
Super on brand.
Yeah. I feel bad for her. She's like lost everything and then can't do anything and then really can't do anything. So she is just down in the dumps for sure.
Well, I'm going to call the post session. I'm going to leave a little bit early tonight. I am very hungry. It was great hanging out with you guys. I will see everybody next week for more D&D.
Bye guys, have a good night.
Good night.
Good night,
Later.
everybody.